YouTube. So here we are, halfway point. Well, I guess you could say halfway point. We are officially beginning week 12 of the reverse diet. And still so far so good. Average weight this week, it went up a little bit. It went up about, and when I mean a little, point, 0.5 pounds. I'm still floating around at 64 kgs, 142. Just like I tell everybody from the get-go, I'm not I get pretty decent in the off season for my frame, but right now I'm still very lean. Like I said, I'm 12 weeks post-comp and reverse dieting and am still relatively lean. I go get my scan today, so we'll see where my body fat percentage is and things of that nature. But hopefully it'll be up a little bit, which that's the point, is to put a little bit of body fat on. It's just in a controlled manner. I'm just taking a little stroll here. I actually just got done doing cardio, but just taking a little stroll here as I record this video. But yeah, so I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. It's my first time trying to control my rebound. And, you know, to be a natural pro, this is what you got to do. You got to go far and beyond. You know, all this beginner, intermediate, other content you see on YouTube. I mean, yeah, that stuff's great, man. It'll get you where you need to go. But you'd be so surprised on what the pros do that people act like you shouldn't do. And more than likely, you shouldn't do if you're a regular GP, general pop, and all you're doing is just trying to be fit and healthy. But if you're a competitive bodybuilder, you will more than likely at one time or another do extreme things to be competitive, because you got to keep up with your competitor. And another caveat in that is, especially if you're natural. So anyway, make a long story short, back to my update. Yeah, I'm feeling real good. Energy's coming back slowly. Strength, as far as building strength, is coming back. Also, of course, I'm not really chasing any numbers. I more or less do RPE, reps in reserve type of training and intensity, and regulate it that way. It's not like I'm trying to get back to 315, 335 bench press, which that's something to look to, but it's just not a goal of mine. The goal of mine is to do this, try to fully complete a 6-month reverse to set myself up for a proper off season where I plan on gaining definitely some muscle before I get on stage again. So as I continue this process and continue to set up, man, so it's crazy. I'm literally almost 1,300 calories over where I ended my prep, which is a blessing, and am roughly still around 3 pounds of my stage weight. Incidentally, I only do cardio twice a week. I do work out 6 days a week to get my volume in. I split it up. And I just train hard, man. Eat healthy. Really not taking too many supplements. I take my BCAAs, and I'll take a pre-workout. And more than likely, that's pretty much my staple. But outside of that, drink plenty of water, train hard. Oh, of course, creatine. Take my creatine. And drink water, train hard, and eat healthy, man. Eat healthy. I'm not going to get into good and clean. Just eat healthy. Your healthy may not be my healthy. My wife can eat like 80 grams of fiber and be good. If I eat 80 grams of fiber, man, I probably have a distended stomach. Probably won't even be able to use the bathroom. But, you know, that's not healthy to me. To my body, that is not a healthy state to be in, even though fiber within itself is healthy. And my wife can handle that much. I can't. So eat relatively healthy, definitely stay active. As my calories go up, of course my NEAT goes up, and that kind of stabilizes my weight, which is crazy. My metabolism, I find myself as I eat more and take in more carbs and calories, I want to go do more. I'm more active with my family and stuff like that. So that's a blessing. I'm more active at work. And while I work, and work doesn't seem so physically hard on my body, it's kind of getting easier because now I got the energy to do it. And even with working out, so it's kind of like I'm slowly increasing calories as I am slowly increasing weight and slowly increasing NEAT and slowly increasing muscle growth. It's like everything's coinciding. It's working together for my good. And like I said, so far so good, man. And of course, I still have some periods where my psyche messes with me because, especially since I've been dieting for my show since January, did my show in June, and now I'm 12 weeks post. So it's been more than likely, or more or less, a quote unquote skinny year, all year. And psychologically, it's tough to let go of the way I've been seeing myself for all these months. But my goal, keep your goal the goal. Shout out to Alberto Nunez and Eric Helms, who throw that out there a lot. 3DMJ Godfather. Keep the goal, man. And my goal is to metabolically set myself up for a great off season. And my goal is also to put on more muscle. And one of this is not really a prioritized goal, but it's on the list, and that is to minimize fat gain. You know, I want to put on some body fat, yes, but I want to put on a healthy body fat that my body likes. Usually around this time, I'm probably at least 20 pounds over stage weight, and I'm like 3 pounds over stage weight. So, man, it works. It's good. Before I end this video, I did take my measurements this morning. My circumference, where I do measure around my chest and back. I measure around my waist, my arms, and my legs. More or less, my waist is the same. It might have went up 0.1, 0.2 centimeters, or I'm sorry, excuse me, millimeters. I'm not going to equate that to inches because I don't know. It just, you know, I am from the U.S. and we do use, you know, pounds and inches and things of that nature, but I'm more of a relative guy. So if the type of tool that I use goes off in millimeters, then regardless of whether it's inches or millimeters, if it goes up from 0.0 to 0.2, then it's an increase. If it went from 0.0 to 0.2, negative 0.2, it's a decrease. And that's all I care about is the relative, because nothing is 100% accurate. You tend to not do things 100% the exact same way you did them before. So those fluctuations in relativity changes. However, the constant relative won't. And that also applies to any kind of fat loss or gaining or measurement you decide to use, like in-body scans or DEXA scans or calipers. You know, I always follow the absolute relative and not necessarily the exact number, because the number is going to be different. So anyway, around the waist pretty much stay the same. However, my other limbs, my arms, they increase, thighs increase, a little, very little on the thighs, noticeable on the arms to my eye, and around my chest and back, noticeable to my eye, and also with the measurement. So man, that's great. Just like I said, weight was 0.5 pounds plus, but I did have some days where inflammation was high, stress was high on my body, and digestive issues, but that's even starting to regulate. So I'm thankful for that. Finally, it's starting to regulate, finally. 12 weeks. And I think it's because of the increase in fats. Remember, fats inherently don't make you fat. We really got to get that out of our minds. We tend to think it does. Too many calories makes you fat. Calories in versus calories out at the end of the day. I'm really starting to realize that more and more. It's different between knowing it, it's different between hearing it, but it's also a different between applying it. It's been plenty of times over the past few weeks where protein was high, or carbs were high, or carbs were low, fats were high, but at the end of the day, my calories wasn't. I probably still could have ate more because I probably owed, some days I owed 80 calories, some days I owed 120, some days I was minus 7 calories where I went over a little bit, but it kind of balances that. But the point is, clearly, I'm still the same weight. I actually took my 12-week averages and averaged my averages at this halfway point. And it's so wild because when I take a step back and analyze the huge picture, the big picture of my 12-week averages, average on that, it was still like 142. I believe it was actually 141.6 or 8. Basically, it's 142, and that's the average of averages. I guess if you want to say a meta-analysis or whatever of my 12-week halfway point to 6 months, which is 24 weeks. So that's amazing. That's just crazy, because if you look at my weekly fluctuations and daily, you'll be like, oh man, you was up here, you was down there. But when you step back, look at the big picture, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. But I am. So keep on pushing, you guys. I'm gonna keep on pushing and keep it updated and keep putting this out and try to grow something. You know, I'm not trying to be major. Really, it's for myself, keeping a record. But at the same time, anybody who it applies to, hey, take it, learn from it, you know, experiment with it. See if it's for you. And it's hard. It's hard, but I'm in the future. I mean, I'm animating in the now, but my mind and my goals is in the future. And so everything I'm doing now is for that vision in my mind later. And I advise and suggest you guys do the same. I'm out.